Stiletto is the sequel to The Rook by Daniel O'Malley, also written by Daniel O'Malley. He decided to write a sequel after the success of the first book. The Rook was his debut film, debut book. Stiletto picks up where the last book ends. However, this book is a tad different from The Rook. First off, it is about a different character, Odette Littlefield. She is a member of the Brodershap. Don't want to say anything about the first book that will sort of ruin the ending, so this book focuses on the other side. It's a sort of world building. I really liked how it sort of went deep, and you get to see the other side of the world of the Rook, because the Rook focuses mainly on Britain and America, but Stiletto goes on the other side of the introducing new characters. Odette has a bodyguard and they bond and things like that. Miffy Thomas is in the book for a little bit, but it's more of a cameo role of sorts. She has her own storyline going on too. However, this book wasn't as interesting as the first book. It's just the way it is. I still read it really fast though. It's a little bit longer, but I still, the interest wasn't the same, because the first one had that sort of air of noir mystery where, someone in this organization wants me dead. They've already erased my memory. That's from The Rook. Stiletto doesn't have that urgency of sorts. And once they tell you who the villains are, it becomes less exciting. Just the way it is. However, this book also suffers from the same thing as the first book. Weird little nods of pawns, or if you're unfamiliar, if you haven't seen the first review of The Rook, pawns are babies that have been taken by the government organization, the Cheka, and they have been raised on the estate to become warriors. So they all have powers, they're all battle trained. And the author likes to throw in little references to weird pawns, just for the hell of it, to show how weird the world of the Rook is. So they mention, oh, this guy's got 3 heads for no reason, or this guy's got antlers coming out of his head, or this person was born in 2 pieces, but they're just connected together. It just isn't stuff that just doesn't make any sense. It doesn't help the storyline at all. At least in The Rook, they only had the 1 or 2 odd, weird references, and then they later, made sure to cover it up a little bit. This one just goes for broke and decides to just have weirdo pawns just in there for the hell of it, for no real reason. And I dislike that immensely. If you're going to introduce something weird like that, at least have it be useful for the storyline, instead of just being like, oh, this guy's got, cactuses for his face or something, some stupid crap like that, just because it's weird and quirky, because this is my universe and it's weird and quirky. Anyway, Stiletto is a must-read if you liked The Rook, the first book. The author does plan to write more, so I mean, this I definitely like the world building the most. The new characters are interesting a little bit, but overall it was enjoyable. However, since it is a sequel, it's probably, you have to read the first one first. If you don't like the first book, obviously don't read the second. That's what I felt about Stiletto. This review is a little bit more vague because I don't want to go into spoilers for what happens in The Rook, so that's why.